All right, so echinococal cysts. They are basically made by tapeworms, so everybody kind of gets grossed out by this one, and it is kind of gross. But they love to ask who is most at risk for developing echinococal cysts, so make sure to listen for that. So the echinococal cyst goes by only one other name, the hydatid cyst, and what it is a tapeworm infection that causes cysts to form within the organs. So we'll go over how it gets into the body in a second, but it does basically start in the colon, again, somehow travels into that portal venous system through the intestine, blood vessels, gets into the portal system. Those little tapeworm eggs then lodge themselves in the liver where they start to develop and build cysts from the little eggs. So here it is. This is like the number one board question that you will get on like every single board. Who is at risk for echinococal cysts? It is people in sheep herding communities. They typically are from Africa, Middle East, or the Mediterranean. So I'm going to say it again. Sheep herding communities. Make sure you know that echinococal cysts go with sheep herding communities. It is very rare in the U.S. that we see these. If you're part of any Facebook groups, there are a handful of sonographers from other countries, and we actually, they'll post pictures of their echinococal cysts. So kind of interesting to be able to see, but I personally have never seen it because it is pretty rare in the U.S. So as promised, I told you that I would tell you how people get infected with echinococal cyst. So tapeworms are typically within dogs, and that is where they like to live. But then the dog poops, and with that poop either comes the tapeworm or the eggs that the tapeworm has laid within the dog's intestines. Then along comes the sheep, and the sheep ends up eating some of the poop. Well, now the sheep is infected with the tapeworm. The sheep then dies, and the dogs come and eat the sheep and get their tapeworms again. So it's kind of this cyclic thing between dogs and sheep, or at least other animals that can eat the dog feces. But if a human then were to eat the meat from a sheep, that all kind of rhymed, they can potentially be infected with the tapeworm, and that is again how it gets into the colon. It's through ingestion through the body, and then as the tapeworm develops in the intestines, they lay little eggs. Those eggs can hatch and then penetrate through the blood vessel walls and hop up into the liver. The ultrasound appearance of echinococal cysts are also a great board question that they really like to ask about. So let's make sure that we know what they look like and how to describe them. The hydatid cyst will take on many appearances depending on which stage it is seen in. Typically the cyst is very well defined and it's going to have some internal junk in it. The water lily sign, daughter cyst, and honeycomb sign are all different presentations of the cyst. So here we have the water lily sign, and the cysts have two layers to them, and in the water lily sign, the inner layer of the cyst detaches. So I know it kind of looks like a worm, like the worm, but it's actually not the worm. It's the inside lining of the cyst detaching. We also have the daughter cyst, and what you'll see in this is a very well defined cyst, and then inside of it, it'll look like little bubbles. We call these daughter cysts. You might also see something similar on the ovaries where you have a large cyst on the ovary and then a little circle on the inside. That is not a daughter cyst. That is cumulus oophoris, which is different from daughter cyst. So remember that daughter cyst goes along with echinococal or hydatid cysts. That is truly the daughter cyst. And then the last thing that we can see on echinococal cysts, we might see it come up as the honeycomb sign. And the honeycomb sign is really just a bunch of daughter cysts, but they're really small and they're really packed into the cyst. So with echinococal cysts, remember that they're also called hydatid cysts. Remember that they come from sheep herding communities, and know the three forms that they might take on and how to describe those in ultrasound terms.